You are born as an imbalance. Before you open your eyes, the world has already reacted to you. The air shifts. The unseen rules that govern existence tighten, as if reality itself senses a problem entering the system. Somewhere, far from the room where you take your first breath, things that should not think begin to stir. Not because of malice, but because nature hates excess, and you are excess incarnate. You are not welcomed into the world. You are registered. From the beginning, you are watched. Elders whisper, families argue. Institutions adjust their expectations overnight. You are not treated as a child with potential, but as an event with consequences. Your birth changes probability. Threats that would have slept for centuries begin accelerating toward the present, simply because you exist. You do not learn this gently. You learn it through fear in other people's eyes. Your abilities manifest early, and when they do, they are absolute. Not strong, not impressive, absolute. There is no gradual curve, no period where you struggle and improve alongside others. You are born standing at a summit no one else can reach, looking down at a world that now depends on you whether you like it or not. The adults around you smile too much. Their praise is nervous. Their respect is brittle. They do not scold you when you misbehave. They do not correct you when you cross lines. Discipline implies authority, and no one feels they have authority over something that could erase them by accident. So you grow up unchecked. Not because you are spoiled, but because no one dares shape you. You learn very quickly that rules are suggestions for people weaker than you. Doors open when you approach. Conversations stop when you speak. Conflicts resolve themselves the moment you arrive. At first it feels exhilarating, like the universe has decided to cooperate with you personally. Then it starts to feel lonely. You see it in your peers, the distance, the hesitation. They laugh with you, but never at you. They challenge you, but never seriously. No one pushes you to your limits because no one can. You are surrounded by people, yet fundamentally isolated by capability. Power is a wall no one else can climb. Your senses are overwhelming. You perceive too much, too precisely, too constantly. The world is never quiet for you. Every movement, every fluctuation, every hidden intention presses against your awareness. You learn to suppress it, not because it is dangerous, but because it is exhausting. Existing at full perception would drive anyone mad. Rest becomes artificial. Peace becomes simulated. You smile a lot, you joke, you perform confidence like armor. People mistake this for arrogance, but it is survival. If you ever slow down enough to feel the full weight of your existence, it would crush you. Humor becomes your pressure valve. Irreverence becomes your rebellion against a role you never chose. Because the truth is simple and cruel. You are never allowed to be normal. You are not permitted to fail. Failure for you does not mean embarrassment or growth. It means catastrophe. Entire systems rely on you as a deterrent, a living wall against chaos. As long as you stand, certain horrors remain cautious. The moment you falter, the world remembers how fragile it really is. So you carry the burden of prevention, not reaction. People expect you to arrive before disaster, not after. To stop things before they become stories. When you succeed, it is treated as natural. When you fail, it is unforgivable. No one says this out loud, but you feel it in the silence that follows loss. You begin to realize that your presence warps everything. Enemies plan around you. Allies grow complacent because of you. Institutions stop evolving because they assume you will handle whatever comes next. Your strength becomes a crutch that weakens the very world you are protecting. And yet if you disappear, it collapses. This paradox becomes your prison. You train students not because you enjoy teaching, but because you are terrified of being the last pillar holding the ceiling up. You try to raise others who can stand beside you, not beneath you. You encourage independence, rebellion, growth, because a world that relies solely on you is already doomed. But even among your students, the gap is undeniable. They admire you, they rely on you, they joke with you, but they do not understand you. How could they? Their limits are real, yours are theoretical. When they struggle, they grow. When you struggle, the world trembles. You are always the strongest person in the room, and that means you are always alone in it. Loss hits you differently. When others die, it is tragic. When people around you die, it feels like a personal failure, regardless of the circumstances. You replay every decision endlessly, analyzing paths you did not take, moves you did not make, moments where you could have arrived seconds earlier. Your mind is powerful enough to torture you with perfect clarity. You tell yourself you are doing your best. You tell others it was unavoidable. You smile. You keep going. But the guilt accumulates, quiet and heavy, because when you are the strongest, excuses feel like lies. Your enemies do not hate you for who you are. They hate you for what you represent: stagnation, an unbeatable constant that freezes the world in fear of escalation. They do not want to defeat you to win. They want to defeat you to restore possibility. That is when you understand something terrifying. Your existence has turned you into a target, not just for villains, but for fate itself. The world wants you gone, because the world cannot move forward while you exist as you are. So plans form around sealing you, isolating you, removing you from the equation without killing you outright. Not because killing you is impossible, but because killing you would shatter the balance too violently. Your absence must be controlled, contained, managed. Even your removal is treated as a strategic operation. When it happens, the silence is deafening. For the first time, you are not needed. Not because things are better, but because the world has decided to test what it looks like without you. And it is ugly. Chaos surges immediately. Weaknesses you were unconsciously covering explode into full crises. People suffer. Systems fail. The horror you kept at bay rushes in to reclaim lost ground. And you are forced to watch. That is the cruelest punishment imaginable. Not death. Not pain. Helpless awareness. Knowing you could stop it if allowed. Knowing your strength is intact but irrelevant. Knowing that everything you feared about being the sole pillar was true, and now proven through suffering you cannot prevent. You realize then that you were never a hero in the traditional sense. You were infrastructure. A load-bearing force disguised as a person. Your personality, your humor, your individuality were never the point. The world did not care who you were, only that you functioned. And the moment you stopped functioning, it did not mourn you. It adapted around your absence with brutal indifference. If you ever return, you return to a changed world. A world more broken, more desperate, more aware of how fragile it truly is. You are no longer just a protector. You are a reminder of what happens when you are gone. The expectations become heavier. You are older now, not in years, but in weight. The lightness you once carried feels forced. Smiles take effort. Jokes land flatter. The role you play has consumed more of you than you realized. You start to question whether your existence truly makes things better or merely delays an inevitable collapse. Whether the world would be stronger if it had been forced to grow without relying on you. Whether your power by preventing catastrophe also prevented progress. There is no answer, only responsibility. You keep going because stopping is not an option. Because you know what fills the gap when you are absent. Because despite everything, you still care. Caring becomes your quiet act of defiance against the universe that reduced you to a function. That is why it sucks to be born as you. Not because you are strong, but because you are too strong to be human. Not because you are feared, but because you are needed in a way that strips you of choice. Not because you suffer more than others, but because your suffering must remain invisible for the system to keep working. You stand at the top alone, smiling into the void, knowing that the world's peace is built on your continued exhaustion. And every day you wake up knowing that the moment you finally rest is the moment everything you protected starts to fall.